To get the answer to this question, what we are going to do is, we will visualize an object at a distance of 1 meter, and then telescopically we will go further and further away from the object, and microscopically we will go nearer and nearer to the object. And then the last point of telescope where it ends, that's the beginning of the highest magnification of microscope. That is what you have to find out, which has a grander view. This is the view of an oak tree branch with leaves, viewed from above the oak tree at a distance of 1 meter, which is also written as 10 raised to 0 meters. Then you go 10 times closer to the leaf and you go 10 times away from the leaf. So the left hand side is a telescopic view, the right hand side is a microscopic view. You are now at a distance of 100 meters away from the leaf and you are 10 centimeters as close to the leaf. Right? Now you go 100 meters away and 1 millimeter close. So you go 100 meters away, you get a view like this, and as you go close to the leaf, you are seeing the central vein and the leaflets. This is 100 meters and 1 centimeter. And go further away and closer. You are now at a distance of 1 kilometer from the leaf, and on the right hand side you are 1 millimeter close to the leaf. "10 kilometers, now you are seeing individual cells of the leaf. 100 kilometers, you are seeing North America, and here you are seeing cells with nucleus. The Panama Canal, Atlantic Ocean, connecting Pacific Ocean, and you are in the nucleus of a single cell of the leaf. You are seeing the western hemisphere of the earth. Here you are seeing the DNA, RNA, chromatin. You are seeing the earth from a distance. You are seeing the DNA strands. The orbit of the moon, which is shown in white, and the earth is just a speck in it. And here you are seeing the chemicals which make up the DNA, RNA. This blue line is the orbit of the earth around the sun, and the white is the moon surrounding the earth. On the right hand side, what you are seeing is the outer electron shell. You are seeing the inner 4 planets, and here you are seeing the empty space surrounding the nucleus of the atom. It is becoming darker and darker on both sides. All 9 planets, 8 planets, 9 planets are seen here, and here you are seeing the nucleus of the atom which belongs to part of chemicals of the nucleus of the cell. Solar system is a very small area, and here you are seeing the carbon atom which has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. As you go a trillion kilometers away and 1 femtometer close, that means 10 raised to trillion kilometers, 10 raised to 15 meters, and 10 raised to minus 15 meter. And the last few is, that's all you can go for a telescope. 10 trillion kilometers and 1/10 of a femtometer. Which of the two has a grander view? Both are the same. So where the telescope ends and the microscope begins, which of the two has a grander view? Victor Hugo did not know it. Now you all know it. The view when you go too close to the substance or too far away, both are the same. Okay? The next topic that we are discussing is scanning electron microscopic view of an RBC. We are going to see some normal RBCs and some abnormal RBCs. And you will realize the RBCs which we normally describe, concave disc, is something like this, a single RBC. Because the RBCs are of various shapes, abnormal RBCs are of various shapes, a normal RBC is disc shaped, so I am calling it as discocyte. You call it as erythrocyte, but that includes all the RBCs. Proper RBC biconcave disc has got a volume of 90 femtoliters, 90 into 10 raised to minus 15 liters volume. The diameter is between 7 to 8 microns, usually spoken as 7.2 microns. The thickness is on an average is 0.5 microns, an average thickness. But on the sides it is more, in the center it is less. The average is 0.5. So the side can be around 2 microns also. The center is extremely thin. In a peripheral sphere, on a scanning electron microscope, the RBC spread is seen like this. You will be doing in physiology RBC count and WBC count. First they will teach you WBC count. Where what to do, you put some chemicals by which you dissolve all the RBCs. So what is left out is only WBCs. In the next practical you will be doing RBC count. Now there is no such solution which can destroy only WBCs, leaving behind RBCs. But there are chemicals which can dissolve only RBCs, not WBCs. So when you are doing RBC count, you are counting RBCs and as well as WBCs which look like RBCs. Doesn't matter, because it has been estimated for every 600 RBCs there is one WBC. So even if you make a mistake of counting a small lymphocyte as an RBC, doesn't hardly make a difference, because for every 600 cells there is one. So it's less than 1% error. That is tolerable. When the RBCs are formed, what are they formed from? What is the cell which is going to become a future RBC? The earliest known structure is called a normoblast. Normoblast is one of the cells which is part of hematocrit cells of the bone marrow. When it becomes a normoblast, and you can see the nucleus is extruded out. It's just still in the cell, but it's on the verge of being thrown out. Every protoplasm has an inherent tendency to conserve energy. If the RBC has a nucleus in it, it will not give away oxygen at the cell level, because it wants to conserve its energy. What if I feel short of energy? Why should I give? So the RBC's nucleus must go. Then it's no longer a protoplasm. Then it becomes the Danveer Karna. Oxygen you won't take it. No problem. You want to give me carbon dioxide? That's also no problem. And the normoblast becomes a reticulocyte. You can see the reticulocyte sends in processes to pluck the nucleus and throw it out. A reticulocyte and an erythrocyte has similar amount of hemoglobin, similar size, similar surface area. But reticulocyte contains a nucleus. So 3% of the RBCs are reticulocytes which are yet to become RBCs. They will become RBCs within a few days after throwing out its nucleus. Reticulocyte at the cellular level gives away only 3% of oxygen. 97% it keeps with itself. Every protoplasm has an inherent tendency to conserve energy. So after it has become a disc, we yesterday spoke about what will happen if you add a hypertonic solution. What will happen if you put in a hypotonic solution? So let's first put a hypotonic solution. Hyper. Let's put a hypertonic solution. What will happen is fluid from the RBCs will leave the RBCs. The RBC's fluid is leaking, its biconcave disc gets shrunk, but there are some areas which are protruding out, and this is called as echinocyte. Echin means spine. So if you put a hypertonic solution, the RBCs will become this shape. Then when you put a if this echinocyte is put in a normotonic solution, it will regain the fluid back. It will again become discrete. So it's a reversible stage. In hypertonic solution, it becomes an echinocyte. Normotonic solution, it becomes discocyte again. What is peculiar is that again you put that RBC in a hypertonic solution, again it will become an echinocyte, but the spines which are present here will be the exact point where the spines will reappear. So the spines are not randomly placed on the RBCs, they are placed at precise points. That point will remain spine when you put it in a, no matter how many times you do echinocyte, discocyte, echinocyte, discocyte, the spines appear at exactly the same points. Why does it appear there? Nobody knows. But that is what is found. And the spines of the echinocyte are exactly at the same points. What will happen if you put a discocyte in a hypotonic solution? The RBCs will swell. It will swell, the central part remains narrow, peripheral parts swell up. So this looks like a mouth, open mouth. Mouth is called stoma, the cell is called stomatocyte. These are all normal variations of RBCs. In disease condition, you get abnormal shapes of RBCs. Acanthocyte, you are seeing some thorny-like processes. This RBC is a diseased RBC. The condition is called sickle cell anemia. When it comes to sickle cell anemia, they are not always sickle in shape. They can acquire various shapes which are not normal shapes. Here you can see some RBCs swollen in the center, surrounded by a depression, surrounded by swollen in the peripheral. You can see the image of the RBC which is to the left of your screen, middle halfway from up to down. It almost looks like when you shoot darts or bow and arrow, and there are circles surrounded by circle, surrounded by circle. Bullseye. This target cell, that's why it's called target cell, it looks like a target of a dart game or a bow and arrow, is seen in a disease condition called thalassemia. If you look at the thalassemic cell in 3 dimensions, from side view, this is surface view. If you look at it from the side view, it looks like a cap, Mexican cap, podocyte. And then there are some RBCs which acquire the shape of a teardrop. Teardrop is called dacryocyte because tear in Greek was spelled as delta, alpha, chi, rho, omicron, iota, omicron, dacryo. The Greek letters you are already aware of how they are written: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, etc. How is chi written? Chi, chi, chi. Chi is written as an X. Short for Christ is Chi. So short for Christmas is Chi-mas. And we call it as Xmas. It is not Xmas at all. It is Chi-mas, Christmas. Short for Christ, Chi. Okay. Then in Latin, most of the Latin words are derived from Greek. In Latin, they wrote DACRIMA. It was written as dacrima in Greek. It was written as lacrima in Latin. No, dacrima in Latin, D. Now this was written as a running hand, dacrima. Now running hand D almost appears like running hand L. If the D is not completely closed, it looks like L. So the typist was typing Latin. For the handwritten manuscript, he typed it as L. So it became lacrima. Lacrimal gland, lacrimal sac, lacrimation. All these English words has come just because of a typographic error. Okay? The original Greek word still remains lacria. That's why when lacrimal sac is diseased, you call it as dacryocystitis. Because you have to use the Greek word dacryocystitis. Okay? So lacrimal gland, dacryoadenitis. Like that. So this is a dacryocyte, not a lacryocyte, because cyte is a Greek word. Of course, Latin is also cyte derived from Greek. Sometimes RBCs acquire a shape of an ellipse. This is like a stomatocyte, but stomatocyte the cell was spherical. Here it is oval, elliptocyte. Sometimes RBCs acquire a shape. This appears like a nose which has been pinched too hard. Nizo is a pinched nose. So nizocyte. And sometimes when the RBC is running, remember, I had spoken this earlier, but I will repeat it again. One RBC from the heart and goes all the way to the great toe and comes back to the heart, goes to the lungs and comes back to the heart. So it has completed one complete cycle starting from left ventricle back to the same ventricle. Okay? Left ventricle, great toe, right atrium, right ventricle, lungs, left atrium, left ventricle. One complete cycle of a single RBC is completed in 1 minute. 1 minute. So you realize how fast the RBC must be running through. And suppose there is a single strand of keratin which is lying in the path of a blood vessel. The RBC in its effort to rush through it may get severed off, and then you get a keratocyte. You can see that the RBC has literally been torn. And of course, the ends of the RBC cell membrane will close back, so that whatever hemoglobin is there will not leak out. If you think that this keratocyte is nearly the shape of the RBC and nearly the size of the RBC, compare it with a normal RBC. That is 7.2 microns on the right side. More than half of that has been lost in that cut. The cut RBC keratocyte, it can also be called as schizocyte. Because schizo is another word for cut. But in case the hemoglobin disappears from the cell, disappears meaning leaks out of the cell, the RBC will look like a ghost cell after hemolysis. When the RBC has lost its hemoglobin, when the RBC has aged, the life of an RBC is 120 days. And now yesterday we said, how many RBCs are there in the body?
5 into 10 to power
25 into 10 raised to 12. 50 into 10 raised to 12 is the total number of cells. Half of it is RBC. 25 into 10 raised to 12 divided by 120 days into 24 hours into 60 minutes into 60 seconds. You will realize 2.5 billion RBCs are produced every second. Automatically it goes without saying, 2.5 billion RBCs die every second. How do they die? They are phagocytosed by macrophages. On the right hand side, you are seeing the macrophage, which is now trying to engulf a clotted blood, with RBCs. This is view from the side. If you view from the front, you will see that the phagocyte is swallowing up the RBCs. Literally phagocytosed. RBCs in some disease condition lose their cell membrane piece by piece, piece by piece. It's called a string of pearls. Little cell membrane is being lost. The RBC also alters its shape. The next few series of cells which you are going to see are all different shapes of RBC in sickle cell anemia. Drepanocyte. If you have a front view of drepanocyte, it almost looks like the hyoid bone of the body. Sometimes the sickle anemia cell will look like this animal, or like this. It may even look like a plant. Sickle cell can also resemble a swan, flamingo. It can look like a hippopotamus, Proteus amphibius. It can look like a kangaroo with its baby, or Microscope sanguinolus. Rhinoceros. Thank you. Any questions? What we'll do now, at 1:30 we are going for dissection, so we have 15 minutes left. What I'll do is, December 24th is what day? Saturday. On Saturday, you have your first exam. Not this Saturday, 24th Saturday. 24 days to go, don't bother.
Which exam? Which exam?
Upper lip exam. Upper lip. Yeah, you are started with upper lip, na? Obviously the exam will be on upper lip only. Let me tell you the pattern. And this pattern holds true for university exams also. We'll give you MCQs. For a change, we don't want to spend too much, waste too many papers. So we'll allow you to solve this MCQ on your mobile itself. But in the lecture hall under supervision, so that you don't go to sites and check the answers. Okay? Anyway, the amount of time that will be given to you is just enough that you will be able to solve the paper. If you try to search for the answer, maybe you will be able to mark only 1/10 of the paper, because that much time it takes to search for the side, get the answer, and then choose, then go for the next question, etc. So that is the thing. But at least you get the satisfaction that nobody else sees your marks, because only you will know. Those who are interested, we'll have a discussion of the answers after the exam. Those who are not interested, need not bother. So far, I have been teaching 5 batches of students, starting from 2018. None of the batch students ever wanted discussion. They are happy with the answer that they got wrong. This batch appears to be a little different. It all depends on the students, whether they want or they don't want. So, let us talk about university exams. There's 20 MCQs, all of single best response type, one answer, 4 options, no negative marking. Despite the fact that we have told this repeatedly, there are no negative marking, some people leave some questions blank. That's because they didn't know the answer, of course. But why did they leave it blank? There are no negative marking. Poor knowledge of mathematics. Because out of 20 questions, you must get at least 5 correct, even if you don't know anything. And if you leave it blank, you will not get. Okay? Of course, there are some people who have got even 4 marks. That means that bad luck is very bad. Anyway, 5 is an average if you attempt all the questions. There is a rule which states that examiners do not keep option A as the correct answer. Psychology. Because examiner will feel, अरे पहले ही में आंसर दे दिया, बाकी 3 पढ़ेंगे ही नहीं. You have made the distract with such painstaking effort, and the student don't read it. What a loss! Examiner psychology also states, don't keep the option as last, because some students read from backside. So hide your answers between B and C, and more likely to be C, because most students read from up to down. So when you don't know an answer, choose option C. There is a greater than 25% chance you will be right, based on examiner psychology. But don't try this trick in our internal exam, because I know the student psychology that they know the examiner psychology. Okay, 20 MCQs, 20 marks. Why are we calling it a single best response? Because, let me give you an example. The Maharashtra University of Health Sciences is located in, let me give you options, Mumbai, Pune, Nashik, Aurangabad. Let me give you another question. The Maharashtra University of Health Sciences is located in, options are Nashik, Vani, Dindori, Masrool. The correct answer is Masrool. It is within Nashik district, but not in Nashik city. Outside the district, there is a place, there is a road which is going from Vani to Dindori. In between somewhere, there is a place called Masrool, and that is where the university is situated. Okay? So, Nashik was the correct answer in the earlier option. Nashik becomes wrong here. You can't say, I was close. Single best response. Out of the 4 options, which is the best you have to choose? You may have 2 answers correct, but one is closest correct is the answer. And in MCQ, you can't argue. You get full marks or you get no marks. That's why don't leave any option blank. Some people leave options blank because they don't want to create a poor impression in front of the teacher. Suppose you are asked a muscle, identify this muscle, teacher is asking you in Viva. And you call it as pectoralis major. It turns out to be that the actual muscle is pectoralis minor. It means 2 things. You don't know what is pectoralis major, you don't even know what is pectoralis minor. Are you getting the point? That's why some people keep quiet in the Viva, because you don't want to create a poor impression in front of the teacher. People utilize this to use it for the theory paper also. If you write first answer bad, teacher will get a poor impression, and then subsequently even if your answers are good, he'll say this student is not good. And people extrapolate this to MCQs also, but remember, in anatomy, the MCQs are corrected by computers. So whom are you trying to create a good impression? To the computer? Nobody knows who has attempted what answer. Only the computer knows. So you want to create a good impression in front of the computer. I have left it blank so that you don't feel that I don't know anything. Don't try that. This statement I tell every batch. Still there are some people who leave things blank. At least I hope these 140 students will not leave a single question unattempted. When you don't have time, just darken some random circle. Random means C. After that, you will have attempt any 10 questions out of 11. 2 marks each. MCQs you don't get a choice. In this question you get a choice. Attempt any 10 out of 11. These are to the point answers. Don't write descriptive thing. Total 20 marks. 20 plus 20, 40 over. Next, attempt any 8 out of 9 short notes. Short note should be approximately 1 page per question. That's all. Remember, it's a 5-mark question, so you can't write 2 lines on it. Okay? The earlier one you can write 2 lines, you can get 2 marks. But here at least some point should be written. And some people, they write 2 words per line and leave alternate line blanks. And then they say supplement. There are no supplements permitted or allowed in the exams. There are no supplements. So use your space judiciously. Don't write unnecessary details. And that's why I said 1 page per short note. For short answer question you can write, if you want to leave some space, and 10 answers can be written in 3 pages. 4 per page, let's say. 8 and to 10, maybe you can even attempt the 11th one, doesn't matter. Short notes will be approximately 1 per page. 5 marks. 8 into 5, 40. 80 marks are over. Last. Attempt any 2 out of 3. Long question, 10 marks each. Long question you can use. You have to draw plentiful diagrams, etc. Even for short notes, you can draw diagrams. Or you should draw diagrams wherever it is required. And long question you must have at least 2 diagrams. 3 pages for the long question. So how many pages are completed? If you write 3 pages for 2 long questions, 6 pages, 8 short notes, 6 plus 8, 14 pages, plus 3 pages for short answer question, 17 pages. You have a supplement of total 24 pages. Okay, so you are giving some buffer in case you want, suppose some short note goes to 2 pages, doesn't matter. Or long question goes to 4 pages, doesn't matter. You have that much of buffer. But if you write 2 words per line, leaving alternate lines blank, you won't get additional supplements. Is this point clear? This holds true for university exams also. No supplements. Because in this recent exam, there were some people asking for supplements. I said, no supplements. And then when they ask for supplements, when they reach the last page, then they realize, and they have some more matter to write, and there is nothing. Then they write on the cover page also. Because they have suddenly realized that they are short of pages. Then we looked earlier, they left plenty of blank pages to write answers which they will recall later, etc. Something like that. Anyway, vivas or practicals, both are added to each other. You do not have to do anything in anatomy. It's all orals only, except for living anatomy. You will be asked, palpate the manubrium sternum. Palpate, feel. So like that, body prominences, blood vessels, pulsations. On living persons, of course, don't try it on a cadaver. On a cadaver you can see where the arteries are and then correlate that with a living person where you will feel the pulsations. All such things are asked. That's only a practical act which you have to do. Otherwise, in university there are 20 spots, 10 of which are histology slides kept under a microscope. You are supposed to identify those slides under low power only. No high power is to be used, low power only. Then you get 10 more spots of clinical anatomy. Application of the knowledge of anatomy to clinical practice. So a short case will be given and you have to diagnose what it is and tell the anatomical basis of certain signs and symptoms. That's 20 marks of spots, 30 marks of soft parts of the entire body, 20 marks of bones of the entire body. Embryology models will be shown to you, 10 marks for that, 10 marks for radiology and living anatomy. As X-rays are shown and living anatomy you have to demonstrate something, perform something. And 2 slides, additional slides for discussion of histology. That makes a total of 100 marks. What we do is in an internal exam, we reduce the marks of the big score and keep 10 marks for your journals. They are free marks where you can get, if you draw neat and complete the diagram neat labeled in time, you can score 10 out of 10. Those are bonus marks which we give it to you, although university says university does not give any marks for journal. But the university says journal should be complete. There are no marks for that. But we give marks so that as such you don't speak much in viva. So at least journal marks you will get. And spots etc. you can guess a little bit here and there. You are not facing teacher to teacher. For all the other, the teacher is in front of you. And suddenly, out of respect for the teachers, you keep silent. And that's the 100 marks. We will have, these are practice exams as you said. We will also have a practice viva. So that before you go for the terminal exam, you are at least familiar with it. And this practice viva will be in the groups of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 all together. So that you feel a little confident. There are most of your friends by your side, and there is only one teacher. What can he or she do? Sometimes it's bad also. Others will also listen to what you are saying. Hey, what are you speaking? Anyway, but at least you don't get that fear. Fear is gone because you're in company of your colleagues. So that's how we are going to have practice vivas, we are going to have practice theory, and then we will do the first terminal exam. So by the time you go to the first terminal exam, that performance anxiety is gone. Then it purely depends on your knowledge. So study regularly, Those who are traveling long distances, do not study in the train or buses. They strain your eyes. What you should do, you should think about what happened in the day. What did you learn? How much do you remember? So probably first time you will remember very less. When you keep on doing this activity over and over again, every day coming in, going back, you think about what happened today, eventually you will realize you will know more and more. Whatever you are missed out the first recalling, go and see that. Usually what happens is if you study the book twice, you tend to reinforce only things which you already know. Read it 3 times, you further reinforce what you already know. You never realize what you don't know. That's why when you try to recall, what do I remember? So some things you remember. Good. That need not be studied. Try to find out what you missed out. That you remember. And then when you see the book and you remember that, you are only adding to whatever you already know, rather than rereading the same thing. Some people say, I have done my revision 10 times. That means first 9 times you didn't understand anything. That's why you have to read the 10th time. So reflection is very important. Even if you are staying at a short distance, take some time off at home and reflect what you have read before you open the book again. Okay? That's how you keep remembering things. Can you stop here? You can proceed for your lunch break and come back to dissection on at 1:30.